This video is about the Battle of Hastings. The Battle of Hastings is one of the decisive moments in English and British history. It was fought on the 14th of October 1066. The battle was the decisive Norman victory over the Anglo-Saxons and led to the Norman conquest of England. Everybody remembers William the Conqueror, but we should not forget Harold Godwinson, the king on the Anglo-Saxon side. Now to the background. In the 10th century, the French King Charles the Simple allowed some Vikings to settle in Normandy, and they made Normandy to a prosperous and mighty duchy. As you can see, England and Normandy are just divided by the English Channel, so they are geographically quite close, and it did not take long until there was a connection. And the connection was the marriage of the English King Ethelred to the sister of the Norman Duke Richard II. They had a son, Edward, and he was actually brought up mainly in Normandy. When Edward ascended to the English throne, he placed Normans in very influential positions, and that of course led to conflicts with the Anglo-Saxon nobility. Edward died in January 1066 and had no children, so the succession was not entirely clear. Harold Godwinson, the Earl of Wessex, the mightiest of the Anglo-Saxon noblemen, was elected king, and not everybody was happy with it. And there we have the two mightiest contenders, the Duke of Normandy William and Harald Hardrada, King of Norway. Firstly to Harald Hardrada. One of his main allies was Thorsteig, the exiled brother of King Harold. Thorsteig tried to raid southern England, was not successful, and withdrew to Scotland. Then Harald Hardrada landed in northern England, and Thorsteig and Hardrada could successfully take York. So King Harold now had to move north to sort out this situation. He did this, and he did this very decisively in the Battle of Stamford Bridge. Hardrada and Thorsteig should die in this battle. Now, William of Normandy saw his chance. There was a brilliant opportunity to invade England because southern England was defenseless. So he landed near Hastings on the 28th of September 1066. King Harold had to move back. His troops were exhausted and he could only take parts of his troops with him. He arrived in the south on the 13th of October, and on the 14th of October 1066 we have the Battle of Hastings. So what happened there? As just mentioned, Harold's troops were exhausted, the Anglo-Saxons were exhausted, and is not in full strength, so they took defensive positions. The Normans wanted to fight, wanted to have a decision. The whole thing started with archers, not too successful, and then the Normans charged, the cavalry alongside the infantry attacked. They were repulsed on the shield wall formed by the Anglo-Saxons. They retreated, and then we have the rumor William is dead. So the Anglo-Saxons saw their chance, pursued the Normans, and tried to find a decision now on their side. William showed himself to his troops and motivated them, and they fought back and inflicted heavy casualties on the Anglo-Saxons. Then there were repeated attacks by the Normans on the Anglo-Saxons, and they could not withstand for too long, and when King Harold died, the Anglo-Saxon army was in disarray. By sunset, it was all over, and the Normans had won the battle. William moved then to Westminster Abbey, to London, where he was crowned King of England. He needed a few more years to actually bring the whole of England under his control, but the decision was made 1066, Battle of Hastings. The Norman kings ruled England until another French house took over the throne in 1154. Most of the Anglo-Saxon nobility was dispossessed and replaced by Normans, and William also brought a centralized feudal system to England. He brought the Norman system to England. But it didn't stop on structures. Cultural changes were also in place, especially the French language was introduced to the nobility. So the Anglo-Saxon noblemen had no place anymore in England, and they emigrated then to Scotland, Ireland, Scandinavia, and the Byzantine Empire. That was the Battle of Hastings in 5.